Hello everybody, thanks for watching the last video. Had a few people get in touch saying that I make it sound so easy to do the Gurdjieff work and they know it isn't and that they're struggling. Well, we've all struggled with it. I struggled myself at times. And this is all to do with our self-control. You know, self-control is needed when we have addictions. We all have addictions of various kinds, throughout our lives, whether it's gambling, sex, drugs, addiction to certain relationships. And we have to look at ourselves and see what is stopping us doing the work. What is stopping us going forward? We have to develop our will so that we're strong enough to use the self-control to stop addictions or things that distract us from doing the work. And Gurdjieff talks a lot about this as, we have buffers that comfort us and again, stop us doing things. The buffers are there to, distract us really. So I've got some Gurdjieff quotes here. I wanted to start off with one from Views from the Real World. And he says, "Sincerity with oneself is very difficult, for a thick crust has grown over essence. Until man uncovers himself, he cannot see." And it is being true to oneself and being sincere with oneself and noting what our addictions are, where we've not got self-control in our lives, where we're not developing our will, and instead of just rolling along with whatever it is that distracts us. Because all that we've been developed through our personality over time is covering up, like he says, like a crust over our essence. And it's our essence that we're trying to free and release so that we can be a real person. And he goes on to say in All and Everything, so I've got quite a few All and Everything quotes here. "There arose in the psyche of people, chiefly owing to their vice called laziness." Actually, this is from Life is Real Only Then When I Am. I do apologise. "There arose in the psyche of people, chiefly owing to their vice called laziness, and with each generation there began to increase in the intensity of its action on their common presence that something which automatically enjoins this common presence of theirs constantly to desire and strive to attain peace." And people like myself, and hopefully you, because that's why you're watching this, we know there's more to life, that there's a realness that we're not quite grasping when we're living our day-to-day lives. We're trying to develop ourselves so that we wake up and find peace and serenity. I can't stress strongly enough how I found understanding my belief in a divine source and the whole where humans came from and what our mission is changed my life so much. Even when I was a kid, I knew we were here for a purpose, but I didn't understand what. But as I got into the Gurdjieff work and Steiner's work and others such like that, and began to see about this whole developing ourselves, that it's all about working for the divine, and that there's a, I have a strong belief in a battle between dark forces and light forces, and the dark forces of the chaos that are trying to stop us working with the divine. Our mission is to be part of the divine's mechanisms and workings of the universe. And I was describing all this in the last show that I did about how we want to be part of the harmony. And it is a harmony. When you start realizing what it is you're here for, your life does change and has a specific meaning rather than the old meaning of got to go to work, make some money, feed the kids or whatever, your them little aims of being in what I call the rat race. Instead, we're working for the divine. And it does bring a sense of serenity to yourself and peace in you, because you suddenly understand what life is about. And when most people go around, the sleepy people that aren't awake, as I spoke about in the Gene Toomer video, about the 3 types of people, one set of people that are awake and are doing the work, second type of people like ourselves that are aware there's something more and are trying to learn it and do it. And then the third type of people that are fully asleep and not interested in anything. We're trying to go forward and find that peace and serenity. And I do find the people that are asleep, they have an underlying misery, anger, no peace or serenity in them, because they're struggling to find a purpose to their life, and they go from one thing to another, keep thinking, oh, this is it, I found it, whether it's buying a new car or a new phone or whatever. Well, when we found something like the Gurdjieff work, or even biblical texts or esoteric texts, and you start seeing that there's more to life, that lifting that veil that Isis has brought down to cover up. Only those that are worthy can lift that veil, and we're working towards moving that veil up and moving through it and seeing life as it should be, and what life really is. And he also says in Life is Real, Only Then When I Am, the crystallized habits unworthy for man, which contribute first to the rising in us of our inner evil God, and second to the supporting and increasing in us of its power and strength, always and in everything, namely that evil God, the presence of which creates ideal conditions, especially in contemporary people, for enjoying a state of immutable peace. Well, when we become aware that there's when you're not in flow with the divine and everything's chaotic and doesn't run, smoothly, you start working, when you're aware of that, you start working towards working with the divine and being part of the harmonious workings and the mechanisms, and going forward with a purpose. And having purpose in life does create a different feeling in one. And I'm not talking about a purpose of, I'm going to, I don't know, make that business happen. Yeah, they will work if we pray to the gods, pray to the archangels and ask for help, but you've got to be aware of them. It's these, if you know that it's the right mission, it will follow through and will start working for you. Things will fall into place. But we have to understand that inside of us, there's something that tries to stop us doing this. There's like a little demon inside us that's trying to distract us, and that's where we need our self-control. And he talks in All and Everything. The sensations induced by remorse of conscience, which are similar to those arising from being part dog duty, infallibly lead to the suppression and the enslaving of the denying principle inherent in their common presences, called self-calming. And that's what we're working towards, having a self-calming attitude to our lives, self-calming attitude in things that we do, rather than being caught along in all the chaos and the chaotic ways of going forward with things. We're trying to be more present in what we're doing. We're developing our will so that we can do what we need to do. And he goes on to say in All and Everything, so this is page 609, there had become the inviolable part of their essence, always the same inner overlord of theirs, maleficent for the terrestrial free-brain beings, named by them self-calming, which by itself became for those unfortunates the sense and aim of their existence. Therefore, in order not to make any being effort at all, it's like we have to make that effort, we have to make that being effort, and there's that overlord inside us, that evil God that doesn't want us to do anything, just be lazy, because we're lazy creatures. We're taught to be lazy, find a way out of doing anything and everything, when really we should be working towards doing what we need to do, what is important, what will help us develop. Well, I'm waffling a bit, but I hope that's okay. And he goes on to say, hold on, next page, page 624, in the presences of every terrestrial free brain being that began to become predominant, the evil inner God of theirs named their self-calming, that evil God who became their ideal, the conception of whom is very well expressed in the words, to attain to a complete absence of the need for every essence anxiety of whatever kind it may be. Life's full of anxieties. And when we develop ourselves and work on ourselves, when you become conscious of what you're being concerned about, what is causing the anxiety, it smooths out, it calms. You start realizing why that's being like that. It's about living in the now. Like now is the moment we should be looking in. If you know you're going to do something tomorrow and you're thinking about it constantly, but you can't do anything about it, that's not living in the now, because you're thinking about what's going on in the future. Well, the future's in the future. Be in the now. And he talks about this having dominion over us, domination over us, these kinds of anxieties, these worries, this lack of self-control. And it does dominate. It's quite a dark force upon yourself. You feel quite heavy and from it all. When we want to be feeling more light and adjusted to what's going on and not maladjusted, as he says in many of his writings. We want to have that self-control developed, but it takes effort. And he talks a lot about super effort, being effort. And these are the kinds of things we need to work upon ourselves. He does these exercises where, you know, say you smoke with your left hand, tomorrow smoke with your right hand and feel the difference. You know, that's super effort of trying to do different things. And if you can start doing exercises like that, it helps you become aware of yourself and be more in the moment, in the now. So I know it's short and sweet, this little video, but I just wanted to, you know, it's like a reply to those that were asking, you know, how to make it more easier. You can only do it yourselves. It's all to do with self-control and working upon oneself. So I wish you all the best, and until next time, peace.